You're listening to the G1 podcast.
What is up, everyone? GP again, showrunner of the G1 podcast. Thanks for joining me for our weekly vlog and This Week in History. First up, the big news from last week is the new format of the G1 podcast. Pretty much consists of 3 podcasts, Shimin Says with Sojin Kim, Rock Bottom, and Foodie Call with Chuck Chun, Thomas Rhee, and James Yu. The reception has been quite fantastic, if I do say so myself. It's a very promising start. I'm quite satisfied with the first edition, but that doesn't mean I'm satisfied overall. We're going to be going places, getting more ambitious, of course, so you can expect bigger, better, higher quality. And I did have a question for all of you tuning in right now. Please answer in the comments below, or if you know me, feel free to direct message me or tweet at me, whatever you want to do. That first visual podcast came out as a 90-minute video. Would you prefer 3 shorter videos? The downside being that you can't click through all 3 videos and discover, kind of chance upon content from another podcast that also appears on G1. So if you're listening to Shimin Says, you are interested in Soranet and the porn industry here in Korea, you're not accidentally really going to stumble upon the Be More Human project and fitness and Rock Bottom. You might not capture all the insights of Charles, Thomas, and James on Foodie Call, because the video will end if they're all just 3 shorter videos. Let me know what you think. Would you prefer the 1 really long video or 3 shorter videos? Obviously, you're not going to sit around and watch people talk for 90 minutes, but it's still a podcast, so you can download it on the go, and that's what I would like you to do for your commutes. All right, that's that. That happened on Thursday. Pretty much a very large milestone for the podcast and for me personally as well. Also, another huge milestone right here. Groove Magazine, the May issue. That's this issue that just came out last week. Came out on Friday, I think. G1 podcast, Potting Around the City is the name of the article. So if you check out page 48 and 49, speaks about one of the documentaries I did on traditional soju. Absolutely honored by the author Liam Ring, and it's just so cool. So thank you very much to Groove Magazine. Check it out. The magazine is free in various places around the city, particularly in Itaewon. Okay, on Saturday, I actually took the day off, and I met up with the Foodie Call guys. Let's see what we all ended up doing that day.
Craziness. It's Saturday, and it's the vlog, and we're seeing what all the Foodie Call guys are doing.
Oh, man.
What are you up to today?
I'm making 5 chili fries for a food eating contest right now, so trying to put it all together.
All right, we'll check in with you in a bit.
Okay.
Ready. All right, this is the Saturday vlog. Thomas Rhee, Foodie Call. What are you doing today?
Eating a ton of food.
Eating a ton of food. How many competitors are you going against?
This is one of the guys, but I actually wouldn't consider him a competitor, though.
First time.
He's going to come in last. And we have Nick over here. He's going to come in 4th. This is my prediction.
Okay.
We have Jay over here, and we have Jordan over here.
What's up?
I think 2nd and 3rd spot is going to go between these 2 guys.
Okay.
Who's going to be first? Oh, really? That's a lot of talk, buddy.
It's a lot of talk, but
He brought prep gloves with him. That's how serious he is.
I came prepared.
Hey,
He's got rubbers.
if I was the judge,
Ladies, he's ready.
I got my hand rubbers.
James,
Yes, sir.
what are you up to today?
Just making pizzas, watching the show, enjoying
Thomas
the day.
says he's going to be number 1. You think he's going to beat everyone?
If he had like 3 hours,
Oh, nobody
Hey.
else seems on his back.
like I said, nobody's ever called him the Usain Bolt of eating. I think he's more of the marathon eater.
Contest sponsored by the Bottle Shop Brew Works. These 5 contestants, Jordan, Nick, Pete, Thomas, and Jay, are going to eat an average American-sized lunch. And we're going to see who's going to be the fastest.
I just realized that this is single-handedly the most American thing I've done in Korea. 6 years, ladies and gentlemen.
first loser.
All right, third place. Your thoughts?
Disappointing show for me, but I actually thought that the extra pizza would help, but I think what we actually needed was 2 extra pizzas.
The pizza was your idea.
I know, I think we needed 2 extra. Exactly. I actually wanted to go over the long haul instead of doing the speed stuff.
Okay, so that leaves me, how I'm enjoying my weekend. Went to Be More Human Project workout, and now this.
Donuts and whiskey. Donuts are definitely a thing for me. A little bit worried about diabetes in the long run, but whiskey is something I also enjoy, and I wanted both. I got exactly that. Big thank you to my friend Flower Wars. His YouTube channel is right here. He was the one who came over and made the donuts for my friends and I, and it felt like my birthday, so that was absolutely amazing. Moving forward now to this week in history, Korean history. Namdaemun, one of the 8 gates of the Fortress Wall of Seoul. There are 8 gates. 4 of them are great, and 4 of them, I guess, are less great. Semantics, right? Anyway, erected during the Joseon era, opened in 1398. That's not what happened in this week in history. This week in history, it reopened 3 years ago. It was restored between 2010 and 2013 as the result of an arson committed by a 69-year-old citizen who had some beef with the city over a land dispute and compensation. So I guess his rationality was, yo, you owe me money, I'm gonna hit you where it hurts, and really kind of an attack on the heritage of Seoul, if not Korea, by one of its own citizens, and it definitely was an eyesore for people who lived in Seoul for that period, because you saw huge barriers around this gate in the middle of the city, and you drove past it, and if you had been here before, you'd seen pictures, you knew what was once there and wasn't, but now it's here again. We're going to put a side-by-side comparison for you right here. It cost the city 20 billion won to restore, and it's been restored actually numerous times over the centuries, usually due to war though. Okay, moving backwards a little bit to today's date in 2007, when the government laid out its first ever plans to take back assets from Chinilpa, or Korean collaborators with the Japanese during World War II. So Koreans who benefited from Japanese colonial rule actually includes lawmakers by definition, and unfortunately, it doesn't matter what kind of lawmaker you were, it also includes you, but I'm sure they're not going to be going after you if you were doing like traffic laws or something like that, right? That would just be unreasonable. Anyway, the movement to kind of right past wrongs picked up in the 80s and 90s during the democratization period of Korea. This, of course, happened in 2007, and that was kind of strange. I feel like it was a political tactic by President Roh Moo-hyun to kind of bolster popular support. The eventual goal, the ultimate goal, was to reappropriate confiscated property and give it actually to Koreans who contributed to the push for independence. Not quite sure how successful that has been. All right, let's get a little bit morbid for this week in history. Bizarre to say the least. This week in 2012, South Korean officials seized thousands of smuggled drugs, and get this, they were filled with powdered baby flesh. Right, these capsules were made in northeastern China. This gets vivid. The babies were chopped into small pieces and dried on stoves before being turned into powder, and they're marketed apparently as stamina boosters. If you live here in Korea, you know the word stamina is interesting to say the least. Any ajushi will say it to you with a very smug look on his face, and there are all sorts of connotations, but this is one of the shady pills to boost that stamina. Absolutely disgusting. The smugglers that were caught said that they did not know what was inside the pills, what they were made out of, which is probably true, you know, they're probably just smugglers. Moving a year back, this week in 2011, South Korean police found the body of a man with his hands and feet nailed to the cross. He reenacted the death of Jesus Christ, and actually had a crown of thorns on his head, too. He was found in a stone quarry in Mangyong. I don't know if that's how you actually say the city. It's written here in English. But yeah, first they thought it was a murder, but upon reviewing CCTV footage, he drove there by himself, and they actually reenacted his death, not to full effect, but they found out that it was possible to crucify yourself. He bled out. Okay, what else do we got here? This Week in History is, of course, going to be closed with something much more positive. Children's Day and Parents' Day. Okay, Children's Day dates all the way back to the 1920s, right after the March 1st independent movement of 1919. Social leaders and student organizers actually developed Children's Day as a way to teach children, not only to kind of raise the social status of children, but to teach them about their deprived sovereignty. So they use it as kind of a, political tool to make Koreans aware that Japanese colonial rule is not something that they should get used to. Very clever. Thankfully enough, that's no longer relevant. Korea is a sovereign nation, and I'm glad that the aspect of raising children's social value and putting emphasis, recognizing them, is still around, because I used to be a teacher, and I know that children really, really look forward to Children's Day, and I think that they absolutely deserve it. Okay, Parents' Day. Very, very different origin story, much simpler. It actually began as a celebration within Christian communities in the 1930s, and it was just Mother's Day. Over the past decades, it went on to kind of encompass fathers as well, and that really just meshes with Confucian ideals of honoring your parents and your ancestors, older people. And so that just got picked up by Confucian society here in Korea. It expanded well outside of the bounds of the church. That's it. That's This Week in History. That's the vlog. If you have any comments on anything that you just saw, I'd be happy to read them. I always reply, and I'm honored. Thank you for watching. Thank you for making the first episodes of the new format of the G1 podcast so popular. We'll keep it coming. We work for you.